Hey everybody. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, March 30th. March went by very quickly, I have to say. Anyways, I hope everybody is doing well out there in the world. We are studentloanjustice.org. Just going to give you a very quick Thursday update today. First thing that's most important in our little universe, as far as actually existing, is our GoFundMe platform. We're raising money for our van to replace the SLJ van so that we can do things. Very important that you help out with this if you haven't, ladies and gentlemen. We can survive and thrive and do what we do and fight and win this battle on very little funding. We are a truly grassroots group, and we can fight. And as I said, win this battle on next to nothing, but we can't do it on absolutely nothing. So please help out if you would, please, so I can shut up about it because I hate fundraising. Next announcement, as of today, last I checked, we've gotten around 19 or 20 letters to the editor published in newspapers across the country, from Texas to California to Wisconsin, and other places, Utah. So we're asking everybody to write their own letter to the editor, and including you, by the way. You can't be lazy. You've got to do your part. It's not hard to get a letter to the editor published. And if you're looking for any examples of good letters to write, like something to start from, check out our Facebook group. If you're watching us on Facebook, you're already there. But you can go to studentloanjustice.org and click on the Join Us on Facebook tab to find our Facebook group. And you can see many, many examples of recent articles that our members have gotten published, calling for one of two things or both: the return of bankruptcy protections to student loans and the cancellation of all federally owned student loans. We're fighting for both of those two things. That second thing, loan cancellation, which is what everybody actually wants, depends on that first thing, which is getting the constitutionally enshrined leverage of bankruptcy returned to the loans. That's the most important policy point I'll make here tonight. If you're new to the group, you're probably wondering, I don't want to file for bankruptcy. Why is that so important? Well, just trust me, it actually is that important. The founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy laws in the Constitution ahead of the power to declare war and raise an army. And this student loan exception to their wisdom proves their wisdom in spades. We're not going to see any kind of meaningful student loan cancellation unless and until we get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned to us as it exists for all other loans. So yeah, we've gotten around 18 or 19 letters published at this point. Please get your own letter to the editor published. Very important. The most important thing I have for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we published an article specifically meant for Republicans in Congress. We're firstly a nonpartisan group. We pretty much hate both parties at this point, but the Republicans are very important for us this year, guys, because they control the House of Representatives. And our bill, which last year was S-2598 in the Senate, that should be coming out again any day now, maybe, hopefully this week. I don't know. We've got to have Republicans in the House of Representatives if there's going to be any chance of this bill passing. We've got to get through to them. So this article that we just published is extraordinarily important to that end. If you go find us on Twitter, Student Loan Just #1, at the very top of our Twitter feed, the pinned post, the pinned tweet, is a link to that very important article that we wrote specifically for Republicans. Retweet the snot out of that tweet, and more to the point, retweet it to conservatives and Republicans in Congress. We've got to reach out. I would say first start with your own representatives. If you have a Republican senator or two, or if you have a Republican House of Representatives representative, a House rep, retweet that thing at the top of our Twitter feed, retweet it to them. This truly is the battle, ladies and gentlemen. This is the front line in the battle for student loan justice. I don't care if you want your loans canceled. I don't care if you want some sort of negotiated settlement. Maybe you want to break on interest. Whatever you want for your student loans, it is not going to happen unless and until we get the right of bankruptcy returned to us. Very few people, in fact, maybe even no one, should actually have to file when we get the right returned. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that's the most important action item I have for you today. And if you need something to do, if you've already done those things and you're looking for something else to do, go here, do our daily action. You can also find that through the website. We do daily actions at least 3, sometimes 4 times a week lately. Depending on how things going, sometimes we do them every single day. They're very quick. They're very easy. They're usually involve nothing more than like Twitter. And like, I hate Twitter. Everybody hates Twitter, but you know, Twitter actually is very effective, ladies and gentlemen, for reaching out and touching people who need to be touched. And there are a lot of them, particularly Republicans in Congress. We kind of hate both parties. So, you know, whatever your political stripes may be, you're very welcome here. So whether you hate Republicans or love them, you need to push them with us. We're pretty much done with both parties at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Both parties are against us. And last session proved that. You know, the Democrats had a decades-long standing promise to return bankruptcy rights to student loans, which again lies at the core of this whole issue. They had a great bill. They had all the votes they needed. It was bipartisan. They could have passed this bill last session, and they should have. They decided not to. The Democrats betrayed us. I'm very sorry to have to report that, ladies and gentlemen, but it's true. So yeah, whatever your political stripes are, you're very welcome on this group. We're glad that you're here. But get that article forwarded to Republicans in the House of Representatives and in the Senate today. So I'm going to look for your comments now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I'm going to keep this live stream really short tonight. I normally don't do Thursdays and Tuesdays, but our fearless co-leader is taking an extended break from his live stream duties. And Ed, if you're out there, we love you. We wish you well. Can't wait to see you again. But if you do have any questions or comments and you're watching us on Twitter or Facebook, by all means, throw them out there. And I'm glad to read them aloud on the air, editorial opinions, comments, questions, otherwise, and respond to them if warranted. How does that sound? So there was one other thing I wanted to mention. What was it? Well, I'll think of it. Anyways, still looking for, okay, there we are. There's a video right there. Hey, Nicholas Linky's with us tonight. Hey, Nicholas in Utah, I believe. How you doing? He said, I am so frustrated with Senator Cassidy with that stereotypical argument. The taxpayer and the government are not responsible for people's debts. I agree with you, Nicholas. It's pathetic. You know, our number one challenge right now is idiots saying, why should my tax dollars pay for your student loans? And I'm here to tell you, what you should say to those people is, don't worry your pretty little head. The taxpayers have made a king's ransom on this unconstitutional lending racket, and not just $10,000 or $20,000, but every nickel of federally owned student loans, which is what we're talking about, which is what Biden is proposing. Every nickel of that debt could be canceled tomorrow, and the taxpayers, aka the Department of Education, and I would say their contractors also, their little snaky, swampy contractors, they would be breaking about even off of this deal. The taxpayers have made a fortune on this lending scam, and many years of White House budget data and many other types of federal publicly available data confirm this. Heck, the Department of Education has even been making a profit on defaulted student loans since 2004 and even before. So unlike PPP loans, as Nick rightly points out, which actually required money to be drawn from the Treasury. It required money to be added to the national debt. Federally owned student loans can be canceled entirely without needing one thin dime from the federal Treasury and without adding one plugged nickel to the national debt. I get your frustration, Nicholas. And our opposition is playing the ignorance of the public about this issue against us, and they're doing it very well. The one thing that's going to cure that problem is by more people like you and like me and everybody out there watching this telling the truth. And the truth is that this lending system is almost entirely composed of profit at this point. The people have paid. Unlike PPP loans, the people have repaid student loans. They've paid and paid and paid. Some people have paid thousands of percent more than they originally borrowed. This thing is profit. This lending system literally is the biggest scam on the American citizens, not the taxpayers, on the citizens in the history of the United States. I can't think of a larger domestic financial scam than the federal student loan program. The loans have been weaponized against the citizens. They've been weaponized through the removal, number one, of bankruptcy protections, but also the removal of statutes of limitations, of fair debt collection practice laws, of truth in lending laws. Like, you almost can't even name a consumer protection that still exists for federal student loans. So I share your frustration, Nicholas. I've been shouting the truth from the rooftops. Nicholas has also been doing the same, I should add. Nicholas got a couple of very strong letters to the editor published in Utah newspapers, including, if I'm not mistaken, the Salt Lake Tribune, which is a very big deal. So Joanna Kearns with us from Florida. Hey, Joanna. Joanna says, I have sent the article to many Republicans in Congress today, Alan Collins. Thank you, Joanna. That's what's needed. Be like Joanna and do our daily actions like Joanna does every single day. Get that article I said at the top of this broadcast. Get that article to Republicans. These are your loans and this is your battle. And this group is not here for your entertainment. We are a working, fighting group, and we're getting huge things done. Make no mistake, the whole topic of student loan cancellation by executive order, that whole topic started with this group right here. I kid you not. Nobody, not Elizabeth Warren, not Chuck Schumer, not anybody in the media or in Congress was talking about canceling student loans by executive order until our petition came out calling on then President Trump to do it. It was only when our petition was probably 6 months old and 500,000 signatures strong that people like Schumer and Warren and others embraced and co-opted or adopted this and started making the same call. That all started with us of this group, ladies and gentlemen. It's because of the hard work and the dedication and perseverance of our members that happened. Now, people like Joanna and Nicholas and Gordon and others I see here tonight, they cannot do your work for you. If you continue to sit there, and if you have been fighting this fight, I salute you. That I tip my cap to you. We are the pioneers, and we have a lot to be proud of the massive amount that this group has accomplished, particularly in the past 3 years, but quite frankly, going back 18 years at this point. The legislation that we've seen in the past 3 years the bankruptcy legislation would not have happened but for the people on this group. The new bankruptcy process that the Department of Education just trotted out, that literally the genesis of that idea was this group. It was us talking to like Joe Biden's campaign manager, us talking to people on Senator Durbin's staff, us talking directly to James Cavall, who went on to become the Undersecretary of Education. And I'm not going to lie, guys, the new bankruptcy process is crap. It's not going to help almost anyone. We are furiously disappointed with that. But nonetheless, it wouldn't have happened but for the people on this group. And, that's with relatively few people doing our daily actions, writing their letters to the editor, and doing the other stuff that we do here in this group. Hey, Laura Gail Sweeney says, student debt is really holding minorities down. It's disgraceful. You know, Laura, that is absolutely true. African Americans in particular are hit very hard, much, 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 much worse than others by these loans. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I think that may possibly be design by design rather than by default. Look at people like Albert Lord, who one of the architects of the student loan scam. And he came from a very interesting family, shall we say, from the South. He has supported some very interesting, shall we say, Civil War sort of revisionist history or research groups or something. There's very strange things going on there. But I will say this also, Laura, I think it's important for people to note. You know, you can intersectionalize this issue almost any way you want. This is absolutely an African Americans issue more than most. That's true. This is also a women's issue. You know, women hold 2/3 of the debt. This is a red state issue. I kid you not. Of the states that are hurt worse by these loans, southern red states or red states generally are the worst hit by far and away. States like Alabama, California, California, Alabama, Florida, Texas, North South Carolina, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, where Bill Cassidy hails from, New Orleans, I believe. This is a red state issue. This is also a veterans issue. This is also a seniors issue. So people over the age of 50 outnumber people under the age of 25 with student loan debt. And they owe far more. They owe 300% more than the under 25 crowd on average. Now, remember, these are people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond who borrowed very small amounts typically and many years or decades ago. Yet today, as I'm talking to you, more people over 50 than under 25 burdened with these loans, and they owe 300% more. I could go on. There's many, many, many different ways to find victims in all this. And, you know, I would estimate that over half the people in our group, and this is despite what you might think, over half the people with student loans are either Republican or independent. I kid you not. I know that sounds very hard to believe. And by the way, if you go to our Medium platform, you can see headlines. You can see research papers that support all the claims that I've made tonight and many other claims that I have not made yet tonight. Some of them are eye-popping and jaw-dropping. And if you read them and you vet them for yourself and you look at the federally available public data that we rest our research on, you will be able to quickly confirm the claims that I just made about African Americans, about women, about, well, maybe not about veterans. That's more anecdotal, but certainly about senior citizens, about red states, etc. This is all true, guys. So educating the public is the biggest challenge that we have, ladies and gentlemen. And that only is going to happen. It's not going to happen through the media. You know, the media is the biggest reason for all the ignorance and mis and malinformation out there that is by and large seeded by our opposition. It is absolutely incredible how little the citizens actually know who don't have student loans about student loans. So we tell the truth on this group, and you need to also. And I feel very good about what this group does. I should hasten to add. And I think most people on this group, most of the true fighters on this group, will agree that it feels very good to be fighting this fight. There's a lot writing on this, and this isn't just about student loans, guys. If they can do to other loans what they've done to student loans, that is weaponize them by stripping bankruptcy rights, statutes of limitations, all those other protections away, they will. There's some very bad people aligned against us, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but you have to wonder what actually is going on there. This is, it's very pernicious and it's disgusting, and the people who are perpetrating it ought to be ashamed of themselves. I can't speak for them. They've got their own consciences to deal with, consciences to rectify. I don't know how they sleep at night. But anyways, they're still there, and they were there yesterday. They're there today, and they'll probably be there tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Strength in numbers is the most powerful thing, the most powerful weapon that we have. One in 5 of all adults in the United States has student loans. 1 in 5, that's 20%. That's like around 50 million people. They either have student loans or are co-signed on them. And 85% of those people, that's more than 4 out of 5 of student loan borrowers everywhere, we're never going to be able to repay their loans. At this point, the lending system has catastrophically failed. I really don't even think that you can even call them loans anymore. They're not. Like, what do you call a lending system when nobody's paying them back, and probably no more than 20% of the borrowers ever will resume paying them back? That's not a lending system. That's something else. That's like a bond of indenture or something. I don't know what it is, but it's not good. And you came to the right place. And the Constitution is on our side. The founding fathers are squarely on our side. 45 million people would be on our side if they knew about us. In fact, probably closer to 50 million people, if you include the people who are not distressed on their student loans. Even they are probably on our side. But, as I said, this is the camel's nose under the tent, and there's no telling where this ends if this student loan injustice is allowed to win the day. So, not to put any pressure on you guys, but this group right here is the center of the universe in that fight. I kid you not. I know we don't seem like it. I know that we seem like a guy doing a live stream, a guy doing a freaking Zoom podcast, and we are that. But guys, I'm just saying, Google us. If you're new to the group, Google us. Going back many, many years, you'll see us on 60 Minutes. You'll see us in the New York Times. You'll see us on all the networks, including Fox News. We actually love Fox News, by the way. We love going in the Lion's Den. You will see historically what this group has done, and more to the point, in the past 3 years. You will come to understand how incredibly important this group has been for actually getting things done. So take heart, guys. We need you. It's always been the case with this group that absolutely nothing good will happen unless and until the people in this group start doing the work. And again, to everybody out there who's been doing the work, I salute you. I apologize. I'm not going to be able to get to all of the comments tonight. But as I said, I promised I was going to keep it short tonight. We're here damn near every night, ladies and gentlemen, doing these live streams. So get into the habit of checking us out at least a few times a week, if you would. Things are happening quick around this issue. We've got great legislation, which is going to be coming out any day now, as I said earlier. And this truly is the battle. This is your battle. Whatever you want to see happen with your student loans, this is the right group to be in. And quite frankly, shame on the other groups that are just fake or corrupted or even worse. They're not fighting the right battle. They're just playing politics and trying to, I don't know what they're doing, but they're certainly not fighting for normal people, not fighting for student loan justice. So I applaud and I salute you all. I encourage you strongly to get into the habit of, at a minimum, doing our daily actions. I encourage you strongly to go to our website and do all the stuff on the main page. Join your state chapter group and help people like Joanna in Florida and Christine in Arizona and Lisa in California and Ed in Massachusetts and many, many other places. I really think our state chapters should be able to win this battle for us really quickly. But jump in. The water's fine. Been doing this for 18 years, and we're still standing and fighting and winning, and we need you, and you need us, and don't forget that. So I'll be back tomorrow night, guys. But just rewind this broadcast if there's anything you missed. I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck. Sorry I couldn't get to all your comments. Good luck. Godspeed. God bless everyone. And do our daily actions, which are right there. bit.ly/SLJ Daily Action. Peace.